Hi, I am Serena, the host of Cooking in Manhattan. Today I will show you how to prepare, roast and finally carve a turkey with a delicious Mediterranean flavor. Let's take a look at the ingredients. I have a 10-pound turkey. I am going to wash it from inside and out with 1 cup of lemon juice and 1 cup of a dry white wine. I picked the Sauvignon Blanc this time. And then I'm going to stuff the turkey with 1 organic lemon, 3 cloves of garlic and a bit of cilantro. Finally, I am going to season the outside of the turkey with salt and pepper. We have removed the outside plastic from our bird and now we are ready to wash it. Remember, the first step is to remove the neck and the giblets that usually are housed in the main cavity of the bird. And now let's give it a wash. While you wash your turkey, don't forget to also move the limbs of the turkey. So wash very carefully around the wings and underneath the legs. Then it is very important that you also wash the inside. You can take the advantage of the fact that you don't have the neck there, so you can have the water coming out of the bottom. And vice versa, you have to try and clean the neck as much as possible, especially because this is a very fat part and you want the fat to actually come out very crunchy and make a delicious crust on top of the turkey. So I will finish here cleaning and washing my turkey, and then we will get ready for filling, stuffing and seasoning. To further sanitize our turkey and also to add more flavor to it, we will now wash it with 1 cup of lemon juice. Make sure to also go in the internal cavity and then twist the bird in the other direction and then flavor also the bottom. And now we will repeat the process with 1 cup of a dry white wine. Make sure that you also put it in the inside, then reverse the bird, pour it on the legs a little bit, and then in the internal cavity. Now let's remove all the excess from the juices, and then we are ready to pat dry our bird. Now I'm going to completely pat dry the bird. This part of the process is important because if the skin is still moist, it will not brown and it will not create that crunchy texture to it. So it is very important that you carefully pat dry first one side and then the other of our big bird. The flavors that we have put on it, namely the lemon and the wine, will still remain there, but it is the utmost importance that you have a dry surface, otherwise the salt and pepper will not stick to it. Now it's time to stuff our turkey. I have made some incisions in my lemon, then I will put in the cloves of garlic and finally the cilantro. And then I need to tie the legs of my turkey. I have tied already one of the legs and then I'm just going to tie the other. This is not usually a simple task. It's better if you have someone else to help you with it, but you know, it's feasible if you use this technique. Okay, so next step is the one of covering the turkey in salt and pepper. Now we need to season the outside of the bird with salt and pepper. And then it goes in the roasting rack. I transfer my turkey in the roasting rack and now it will go in the oven at 325 degrees. The cooking time depends on the size and weight of your bird. In my case, the bird is 10 pounds and I will calculate 20 minutes per pound. That makes it for a cooking time of 3 hours and 20 minutes. So here it is, beautiful brown color. This is our turkey. After 3 hours and 20 minutes we removed it from the oven, then we let it cool down for 20 more minutes and now here it is and we're gonna carve it. Carving is not as difficult as it seems. You just need to have a good knife and a little bit of patience because you first have to remove the legs. Then the second part that comes off is the wings, and lastly the breast. The reason why you work in this order is that you want to leave as much room as possible for the breast to actually come out in nice thin slices. So the first step is to open the ties between the two legs, and then we can cut the skin between the leg and the stomach, and then here you go. This is the first part. As you can see, it comes right off of the bone. Then you cut the skin, that is the only part remaining. So this is our first drumstick. Then we go for the second one. Again, an incision on the skin, and then it goes all the way down here. The next step is to remove the wings. As you can see, it is not complicated. The only part that probably will need cutting is the juncture that is here at the very end. Here it is. One, and then the other. We have made 2 incisions to remove the other part of the dark meat. So now we are going to remove this part and the other, and now finally, as you can see, we have a lot of room to actually be able to carve the breast completely. The best way to cut the turkey breast is to make an incision at the end of the muscle itself, like this. And then, when you finally cut it, the pieces, the slices, will come out perfectly thin, and most importantly, they will come out right out of the bone. As you can see, we carved one side of the turkey breast, and now we proceed to carve the other side. So let's start from here. I finished carving, and then we will finally try the turkey. So here it is, and now the final step. We have to try the turkey, and I promise it will have a delicious lemony flavor. It is really, really good. This is Serena. I hope you found this segment interesting, and I hope you learned a little bit more about turkey. Ciao!